Well, it was a last-minute sprucing up at the Bomas of Kenya with a few hours left to commemorate Utamaduni Day. The Bomas of Kenya was a beehive of activity ahead of the national celebrations to be presided over by President William Ruto. The day serves as a reminder of the crucial role cultural diversity plays in fostering national unity, inclusivity, development, as well as equity and justice.
President Dr. William Ruto is expected to preside over the Utamaduni Day national celebrations under the theme Celebrating Our Unity Through Diversity. With the D-Day beckoning, Principal Secretary, State Department for Culture, the Arts and Heritage, Umi Bashir, now says they have lined up 5 key events this year, among them public engagements where Kenyans will have an opportunity to actively participate in discussions and workshops that emphasize diverse heritage. Nationwide street fairs for local artisans to display their talents, a food festival where Kenyans will enjoy traditional dishes, cultural performances including music, dance and theatre, as well as cultural exhibitions delving into the history, art and customs of different Kenyan communities. Utamaduni Day, formerly known as Moi Day, was renamed in the year 2020 to celebrate Kenya's rich cultural diversity. Since then, it has been an annual celebration with a relatively different outlook, as it has served as a cultural showcase with different communities showcasing their cultural practices. Parsai Frederick, reporting for Prime Edition.
Well, Utamaduni there. Let's cross over to Turkana, where my colleagues Abdiaziz Hashim and JJ Kuria have been holding forth. Remember, the cultural festivities have been ongoing there for now a bit of some time now. There they are. Abdiaziz, what do you have for us from what the president has been referring consistently as the cradle of mankind in Turkana?
Well, good evening to you too, indeed, Uncle Tom there back in the broadcasting house. We are coming to you live from the Ekales Center, where it will be the main epicenter where the cultural event, the 7th edition of the Turkana Tourism Cultural Festival, will be held here, where we do anticipate thousands of dignitaries flocking to the county known as the Cradle of Mankind. You do know, Tom, this is County 023. Just a few weeks ago, it played host to the Senate Mashinani. Now it will be playing host to a massive cultural festival that will be held in this particular region. Now, to just put it to the fact that Ekales means in ostrich, this is where the center where we do anticipate President William Ruto will kickstart this particular program that will be running from the 12th of October all the way to the 14th. Now, a little bit of what the itinerary holds for us this particular week is that we do anticipate the Desert Wheelchair Marathon that will culminate from the Turkana University all the way to this particular venue. Also is that the protocol have demanded that this particular main gate, if my cameraman can show you, is that this is the VIP section where the members of the Fourth Estate, all the dignitaries, as well as high-ranking government officials that we do anticipate will be coming to this particular venue will be using. There is another entry a kilometer away. That is where the residents will be entering through. Of course, we do anticipate that this particular capacity stadium will be holding from 6,000 all the way to 7,000. So the county is recommending that all are welcome to this particular festivities. Also, we do know there is another special gate where we do understand our wheelchair marathoners will be entering through once they start off their race, which will start off the program itself that will culminate from the Turkana University coming to the Ekales Cultural Center, where it will be the main hub where we do have a lot of exemplary showcasing that will be happening from the 12th all the way to the 14th. Also, Turkana will be playing host to our neighbors, mentioning South Sudan, Ethiopia, Uganda. This will also see those particular dignitaries making their way to this particular festivities. Also known that the regional commissioner, that is Jacob Oma, has affirmed to us since the start from our very own sit down with Achola Simon that they have ensured the security. Even this particular afternoon, Tom, as we're coming all the way to Turkana County, we notified a high presence of police officers, a number of them from the General Service Unit, from the Rapid Defense Unit, and other sections from the National Police Service, including the Kenya Defense Forces, who will be ensuring the security of this particular county. County. You do know what has been happening in this great county, Northern County, for the last few weeks. Of course, from the shores of Lake Turkana all the way to the oil fields of Lokichar, and of course to the lashes and magnificent scenes of this particular Lodwar town. KBC Channel 1 will be covering this particular event. But
thank you. That's it from the other side of Ekales. And this is where the festival will be happening. You're right inside the Ekales Center. And this is where 6,000 people from the Turkana native language, and indeed the people of Turkana, will gather for the celebrations of celebrating their culture as well as tourism. Now, if you have a quick look about around this stadium, you will get to see the preparations ongoing, because this venue will host President Dr. William Samoei Ruto will be here as a chief guest of the Turkana County government in these celebrations. And the ongoing celebrations are really about receiving him here. From what you can see from that other end is the podium that will be hosting all the VIPs that will be attending this event. Of course, as Turkana stages such a big show for the purposes of showcasing their culture as well as tourism. And therefore, more than 6,000 delegates will be gathered here, first of all, to showcase what the Turkana people are about, really. Their dances, their culture, what do they wear, what do they eat. It will be the biggest conversation around here. And then what Turkana has to offer to Kenyans for anybody who would want to come around and explore tourism. So from that end, what you see is the dais that will host President William Ruto and every other leader that will be attending. Remember, this event is being attended by delegations from South Sudan, delegations from Ethiopia, and delegations from Uganda, because along the common border, because you understand that Turkana is on the northwest part of Kenya, it borders South Sudan to one side, Uganda on the other, as well as Ethiopia. And this community is cut across, so much so that there are people who relate to the Turkana culture or speak the same language from the other side of Uganda, side of South Sudan, and all of them will be making their way here. That is why these preparations are ongoing. You can even see from the terraces where these delegates will be seated, and there will be resolutions also, because there's what you call intermingling between these two communities, or the communities that live within Kenya and across the border, and therefore there will be resolutions, much of it around peace, much of it around preservation of culture, much of it about exploring tourism. And that's the conversation that will be happening here from Wednesday all the way, and it will be a big festival attended by the Honorable President, Honorable William Ruto, of course being the guest of the Turkana County government that is led by Turkana County Governor Jeremiah Lomurukai Napotikan. And this, you would say generally Turkana County appears ready to host this event, of course attended by international delegates, so much so that you can see the city, the town of Lodwar is bursting with population as Kenyans and other people continue to troop in to witness this historic event. Of course, it's an annual festival that happens in Turkana County, but then again, this much more is about, because you remember a time like last year we were in Turkana County, but this time it was a different event. But this one specifically focuses on the culture and the normal day lives of the Turkana people. And then it will also focus much more on the tourism that is in Turkana County. Much of what you hear from Turkana County is there was a raid here or there was insecurity incidents on the other part. But this time round, it is the positive vibe of Turkana County. You're looking at the tourism that is in Turkana County. You're looking at Lake Turkana, which is one of the biggest lakes in dry land. You're also looking at opportunities available for hiking, the Lorian Swamp. You're also looking at others like, springs around Lake Turkana. All these opportunities are available for tourism, for the Kenyan who probably does not identify with the Turkana culture, but even for the people of Turkana. So I want to take you back a bit to Abdiaziz Hashim, who is on the other side, the entrance of Ekales, and probably can give us a better view of how Wednesday will look like if you're going to come here. Abdiaziz.
That is what we have installed for this particular Ekales culture that will be playing host to the 7th edition of the Turkana Cultural Festival. Of course, you've just mentioned on what will be happening from the 12th all the way to the 14th. But mind you, KBC Channel 1 is where it will be all happening. We'll have live coverage of the events within and without the scope of this particular vast Turkana County. And of course, on this particular note, we do wish, of course, our colleagues on the other side all the best, and of course on this particular side. Now we need to take a short commercial break. Don't go too far. Our very own Tom Boyer will be coming up more with more news on the other side. Don't go too far. KBC Channel 1 is home.